Assassin's Creed Valhalla, or ACV for short, is the latest installment in Ubisoft's long-running Assassin's Creed franchise. Over the years, the series has had its ups and its downs, and in recent years, many have voiced concerns over the increasingly formulaic gameplay, bland stories, and rampant bugs. Does ACV address these issues or stumble over the same problems its predecessors did? Keep watching to find out. The game opens up on Ivor, a member of the Norman tribe that would eventually conquer southern Italy, joining an expedition to raid northern England. When he arrives, however, he realizes that not all is as it seems, as he is betrayed by his fellow Vikings and left for dead in foreign lands. The player is then tasked with making the difficult decision of continuing his mission without support, or betraying his clan and joining the Anglo-Saxon resistance. Whichever side you choose, you will be treated to meeting some of history's finest figures, such as Alfred, the great king of Wessex, or even Ragnar Lothbrok himself. While the open-world scenery is beautiful, the gameplay opportunities it offers are somewhat lacking. Less repetitive enemy encounters and more varied climbing towers would have been much appreciated. You have to approach each enemy encampment, now called Leirs, a little differently, mixing up the series staples of combat and stealth. The new target system, in which you have a sub-goal of assassinating a specific member of the Lear before they escape, goes a long way to providing an interesting and dynamic experience every time you attempt to take down a Lear. The game falls down a bit in actually balancing these encounters, however. While taking on these Lears head-on is punished slightly, unlike Odyssey, the actual punishment for letting your target escape is too low, as the game gives you an overabundance of currency for completing the story missions. More incentive to play carefully and consider your actions would have been much appreciated. The morality system, while interesting, provides too little of a punishment for most players to care about. The combat is as satisfying as ever, featuring many of the over-the-top finishing blow animations longtime fans have come to expect. The game encourages a mix of stealth and action to complete your goals. The commitment to historical accuracy with the weapon choices is commendable, as it would have been very easy for them to have not considered what actually was available in the time the game takes place. However, with a season pass already on the horizon, it's not unlikely that more modern weapons will be introduced. RPG elements, like in Odyssey, support the careful and considered development of your character as the game progresses. The stat and skill improvements really make you feel like you're becoming a feared assassin. Lower level enemies running away once you reach a certain notoriety is also a nice touch. The game's progression might seem a little linear, with later areas being blocked off by higher level enemies, but this is actually a clever design choice that makes it feel like you've really become stronger by the time you swing back around to explore those areas you couldn't before. Getting new loot is always rewarding and freshens up the combat with new movesets. There is also a new living economy aspect to the game that is a really interesting twist to the formula. When trading in the loot from your missions, the location and trade routes surrounding the merchant you are interacting with actually affect the amount of money they'll give you. Sometimes it's better to hold off until the next merchant in case they have better prices, but you risk running out of space for loot before reaching them. This system creates an interesting risk versus reward dynamic that incentivizes the player to interact with the world in a meaningful way and listen to what the various NPCs might have to tell you about the world. Again, while the system has a lot of potential, it is hampered by the copious amounts of currency you receive for completing story missions. It seems that the rewards for exploring and completing story missions could have been balanced better. ACV provides many novel ideas and mix-ups to the standard Assassin's Creed format, but falters slightly in a few areas, such as with its underwhelming story progression and badly balanced rewards. Despite these hiccups, ACV successfully assassinates its competition as one of the best open-world games on both current-gen and next-generation consoles. And for that, it gets an 8.6 out of 10 from Quirk Cole.